Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched really well for 7 innings. Didn't get much help from his right fielder. Didn't get a lot of help from his offense. And unfortunately, the end result was a Dodgers loss. Let's talk about it here on All Dodgers. Hey, Dodger fans, we are coming at you live from 3 different places: Utah, California, Illinois. We are all over the country. Unfortunately, to talk about a Dodgers loss, this is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Network of podcasts, brought to you by FanDuel. I am Jeff Snider here in the middle. That guy to my right, your left, that's Clint Pasillas. That other guy, that's Kevin Skinner. We are Dodger fans who are a little bit sad right now because the Dodgers just lost a game to the worst team in baseball. In a way that should, I mean, they do have a 4-game winning streak now, the Rockies do, so maybe they're not the worst team in baseball anymore. I don't know. They're still not great. And the fact is, they didn't deserve to score 4 runs tonight, but Teoscar Hernandez said, hey, here's a bunch of runs. It wasn't all on Teo, and the bottom line is the Dodgers should have scored more runs than they did, too. There's a lot to talk about with this game, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched really well. He gave up 3 runs in 7 innings. The first 2 runs, I don't know if Teoscar Hernandez should have caught that ball in the, when was that? The 3rd, 4th inning when they scored the first 2 runs. It definitely looked catchable. Maybe I've discovered that my brain just can no longer process things like how bad was that play in right field, because there's just so many of them. And they, I know the one in the 9th inning was bad. I think the one earlier in the game was too, and it came back to bite them. But Yamamoto looked really, really good tonight, guys.
Kevin, you lead off.
Yeah, I mean, he looked great. He seven innings pitched. The starting, I mean, it's beyond Yamamoto too. Starting rotation has just looked really good, extending through the Padres series. So it's been really nice. Dave talked about it with Clint earlier today on Dodgers territory, and I agree with him that the way the Dodgers are going to have to win these games is good quality start from your starting pitcher and then just score enough runs that the bullpen can't possibly lose the game. In this one, though, it wasn't really the bullpen. I think the bullpen did fine. It's gotten to a point where, like, when I just see a competent play in the outfield, I'm like, wow, that can happen. We can do that. It's funny. Baseball's going to find a way to highlight the mistakes. And unfortunately, Teoscar has gotten a lot of those opportunities recently.
Yeah, I like the fact that baseball finds a way to highlight those plays, or the ball finds the weak link on the defense, because I would rather figure this out now, even though we've already figured it out over the course of the season. But hammer this in now. Teoscar Hernandez shouldn't be playing right field specifically, almost to me, specifically because I said that wrong, but you get the point. To me, almost specifically because of that kind of play in right field, where he either is playing too deep, like I saw somebody in the chat saying, like, he's fast, he has the foot speed, how is he so bad on defense? Like, is it first step? Yes. Is it defensive positioning? Probably. Something Jeff and I were talking offline about, do you think yesterday, the day before? It feels to me like you can mask that with better offense, but more so mask that kind of play in left field a little bit more. You don't get that teardrop kind of play as often in left field, and we've seen it cost the Dodgers. We've seen it cost this pitching staff a few extra outs, a few extra runs, and in this case, the game in Colorado, having Teoscar Hernandez in right field day in and day out.
Yeah, and I've been a little bit resistant to the idea of move Teo to left, that'll fix things, partly because he was terrible in left field last year, too. He's going to be terrible wherever he plays. He is just a bad defensive outfielder, and there are more balls hit to left field than to right field. But like you just said, Clint, the type of balls hit, these little, I think Teo just doesn't get a good read when it's hit opposite field. Like, he can't judge a ball hit to right field by a right-handed hitter, and there's probably fewer balls hit to left field by left-handed hitters than there are to right field by right-handed hitters. And you're closer to the play. And so a guy like the one in the first inning, or the first play today, not the first inning, but the first bad play by Teo, ended up the guy in first got to third because Teo couldn't get there. Whereas if he's in left field and he doesn't get there, it's harder to take the extra base. A lot of things, ultimately, I've said it a couple times this year and it hasn't come true yet, that maybe the thing that will ultimately get Michael Conforto out of the lineup will be the fact that Teoscar Hernandez has to move to left field because the Dodgers can't afford to lose games because of Teo's right field defense. Of course, Teo needs to hit too. If Teo had hit a home run tonight, then he wouldn't have been in the game in the ninth inning. We would have had a good defensive outfield, and the Dodgers would have won the game. Teo's home runs can cover up for a lot of bad defense. We didn't get any offense from him tonight, and therefore the defense ended up coming back to bite us. I saw somebody in fact, I think it was a super chat, so I'll pop it up right here. From Bacon Tree, $5 super chat. The front office is pathetic, playing Conforto and Teo when both are liabilities. I thought Dave subs guys for defense to win. Offense is a joke. Thank you for that super chat.
He's been subbing in. He's been subbing guys in when they have a lead.
The problem is this was a tie game, and Teo was due up fourth in the 10th inning if they had gotten to the 10th inning, and you don't want Justin Dean up with the go-ahead run in scoring position. Or whatever.
And Alex Call has already been used in that game. He started the game as
Alex Call and
Conforto is here.
It was Justin Dean and Will Smith. So they might have been able. I don't know, because you can't even really pinch hit for Justin Dean with Will Smith because then somebody's got to play the outfield in the bottom of the 10th. So that's why Teo was in the game, because the game was tied, which is frustrating for sure.
It's funny. I can understand people's frustration with the whole Mookie Betts playing shortstop thing. Put him in the right, put him back out in the right field. That's the only thing I miss about Mookie in right field is that you have an actual Gold Glove winner in the outfield. That we got pretty spoiled for the better part of 5 seasons of Mookie and Blue. But this is really
I miss 2020 Mookie in right field too.
Yeah. Specifically 2020, where he was at his very, very best. Yeah. But still, at least he could get to baseballs. And, I'm watching that play over and over here, and it seems like, Teo was almost on the outfield dirt or whatever against Ezekiel Tovar. I don't know how much power he thinks
Tovar did hit the home run that tied the game earlier in the game. But I did. This was a jump thing. He was played deep, but this was expected batting average and catch probability are not exactly the same, because catch probability takes into account exactly where the ball was hit. Expected batting average only judges launch angle and exit velocity. And unfortunately, catch probability is not a publicly available stat. But expected batting average is. That double by Ezekiel Tovar had an expected batting average of .060, meaning 6 times out of 100, that's a hit, which means that 6 times out of 100, Teoscar Hernandez is playing right field when that ball is hit there. Because that I don't know how that ball dropped. That thing was in the air for an hour and a half. I think that, Clint, you and I could have put a burlap sack over my right leg, your left leg, did a 3-legged race, a big fat 3-legged race, and caught that ball.
We're already hamstrung enough with the
Did
girth.
Hamstring legs?
Yeah. Phrasing, I appreciate my use of the word girth there. I feel pretty confident about my ability to read a baseball or a ball off the bat and have a good first jump, because when you're slow and fat, you have to have a good first jump. I don't know what's going on with Teo. It's just it's baffling. I don't know if it is baffling, because we're into now past mid-August, and Kevin, it doesn't seem like there is hope for Teo.
Well, realistically, we're not seeing anything new. We knew he was this bad at defense last year.
Well, we didn't know he was this bad. He was not this bad. He is even a lot worse than he was last year when he was bad. This year, he is horrendous.
I think okay. I believe,
and he was good in right field last year.
I think he was wasn't he in the second percentile last year for range and stuff like
Jason
that?
Diamond, while you look that up, Jason Diamond said. Go ahead. I was going to say, Jason Diamond says we need to lose, or Teo needs to lose a few pounds. Jeff, I have a battle here we can do. I say us combined to lose a few pounds, and then Teo at the same time, and whoever loses the most wins the World Series.
Teo looks good. He looks like he's in fine physical shape. I think he can't read a fastball or a fly ball, especially in front of him. That's the problem.
So last year he was in the 3rd percentile for range, fielding range that uses DRS. He was at -9 last year. He's currently at -8. So obviously he could eclipse that -9 pretty
-8
quickly.
with almost
Yeah,
a quarter of the season
exactly.
left to go. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. But at a rate point, it's, at least percentile wise, he's the same. But I think, to my greater point, part of it is last year they actually had 2 other decent defenders in the outfield. Andy Pages was not as good as he is now, but he was, decent. And then they also had actual, like another outfielder. This year they don't. So we have to live with either Conforto or Hernandez or Teoscar both ways. I think, when you said there's not a lot of hope for Teo, I agree. I think the hope is that you get Tommy Edman back, you stick him in the outfield and go, all right, you just have to cover for some of these mistakes by Teoscar. The other way that there's hope for Teo is he just starts hitting dingers again. Because Jeff pointed out earlier, if he hit a home run or if he produced a single run at any point today, you kind of look at a mistake and go, okay, that sucks, but at least he gave us one back. He hasn't had a lot of those he hasn't been giving a lot of them back this year, which is what he was also doing last year when he hit, 30 some odd home runs.
Yeah. Right now, we had a couple more super chats we're going to get to in just a second, but I will mention right now the the Giants, whatever that team in San Francisco is called, the Giants are up on the Padres 4-0 in the top of the 6th right now.
Let's go.
And over on FanDuel right now, the Dodgers are currently at -450 to win the division. They were at -475 yesterday. So they've gone down a little bit. I would guess if the Giants finish beating the Padres, it goes back to around 475, because not losing ground is big when you're the team in first place, because that just takes another day off the schedule. But when you're playing the worst team in baseball and you can see on the scoreboard, hey, look, the team chasing us is down 4-0 right now. Let's win this game. It's got to be, extra infuriating to have a chance to pick up a game in the division, and now you're just hoping to not lose any ground in the division because they couldn't. And I don't even know. I know it's not all on Teoscar Hernandez. I know it's not entirely his fault, because the fact is, and maybe I'll bring in this super chat from 300 GJW. $4.99 super chat. I don't know how we lead the league in so many offensive categories. This is a game loss we had no business losing. And I mean, the Dodgers lead the league in a lot of offensive categories because they've been really good for a lot of this year. That hasn't been the case, at least not consistently, the last month and a half. We've seen flashes of it. It's been better recently. And even today, you could say, I mean, Shohei Ohtani hit the ball hard, but right at Tovar one time. But I mean, then you also have the fact that Michael Conforto came up with Freddie Freeman in scoring position twice, and he struck out twice. And, people, when Conforto had a good series in Colorado earlier this year, people said, maybe Conforto is just a good Colorado hitter. You know what? I wish that was the case tonight, because if Conforto had blooped a single in, the Dodgers win this game. That's why it's so infuriating, because there's so many little things that if this one little thing goes differently, the Dodgers win this game.
Earlier in the chat, Mediman5 Dodge had put in there, don't be upset, scheduled loss. And I mean, you're hoping this doesn't happen. And I don't think this is something where there was a letdown necessarily coming from the Padres series. Brandon Green had sent us a $5 super chat earlier. I got a gong for that one, saying, Clint, I told Alana, Dodgers only get excited for Yankees and Padres. I mean, yeah, those type of series are more exciting or whatever, but I think the team did enough to win this game, especially in or they did enough to win this game. The fact that it was in Colorado probably just makes it that one tick harder because of situations like this where there's a lot of ground to cover for somebody like Teoscar Hernandez. But was this just, in your opinion, Jeff, just kind of one of those scheduled losses coming off of a big series?
I don't believe in scheduled losses, especially against the Rockies. I think we should be able to win this game, even giving Will Smith. I mean, Will Smith was the only real player with the day off. Yeah, Alex Freeland had the day off, but not like Alex Freeland has been setting the world on fire lately. He did have a big hit for them that gave them the lead today when he did get in the game. But Alex saying the Dodgers don't want to win because they're not playing Alex Freeland, just doesn't ring true. And Will Smith needed a day off. He played all 3 games against the Padres. They've got another series against the Padres coming up. All those things combined, I don't think this is a scheduled loss. This is a game you say, we're the freaking Dodgers. We don't need to play our best lineup to beat this team. And unfortunately, they weren't able to beat them. I maybe would have rather had Justin Dean in the game than somebody, to take another offensive hit, but at least you've got better defense. But again, that's all hindsight. We didn't know that Teoscar Hernandez was going to cost the Dodgers 3 runs with his lack of range.
John is bringing up in the chat. How about Ryan Ward again, hitting 300 still at AAA? I saw somebody, one of our first comments, I think in the stream today, says Ryan Ward makes that play.
I don't know if he does.
We don't know. We'll never know that much. But the fact that dude is buried and Michael Conforto continues to get playing time, and him getting playing time forces Teoscar to stay in right field, even though that's where they want him to be. I really hope and I really feel like once this team gets to October time, I kind of got that feeling from talking to Dave today earlier on Dodgers territory that they're willing to make those tough decisions as we've seen them do the last couple of years. It's like you could play for 6 months on the team, but if you're not good enough to crack the lineup or the roster or whatever, come October, come postseason, you're not going to make the roster there. Cough, cough, Michael Conforto.
Yeah, I would highly doubt it. I think Kike Hernandez definitely is going to get more run if and when he comes back. Tommy Edman will definitely get more run when he does come back. And at the bare minimum with those two, not only can they catch lightning in a bottle, they can run into one. They also just play good defense. So like you at least raise the team's floor just in that area alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We got a few more super chats. Let's read through them. Raul
Thank
Robles, $1.99 super chat, says the Dodgers need bipolar medication. I wish there was a pill that would fix this. That's an easy fix, unfortunately. The Dodgers, whatever it is, they need something, but I don't think it comes in pill form. Richie Flores got the hint that if he wants me to read his comment, make it a super chat. $4.99 from our buddy Richie. I like Teo very much, but he's been a huge liability in right field. It's beyond hopeless. The offense didn't help. This isn't April. Only 38 games left. # math baby. He didn't put that, but we knew what he meant. Laura.
Yeah, Teo's a likable guy, but it really is liability season. But Laura.
Yeah. Laura, $4.99 super chat. Lost opportunity to gain ground. If it was a clean loss, it wouldn't be so bad. And I go back and forth on which kind of loss is easier to handle, because this one, at least you could say, well, they should have won. And maybe that means, like we talked about with that last game against the Blue Jays, if they had played that game 100 times, they would have won it 98 times because they would have had better luck with runners in scoring position one of those times. In this case, the problem is this is the Rockies. And so it shouldn't have been a tie game in the bottom of the ninth. And that's partly Teo, but also partly the offense. And so I don't know if I feel better or worse about that, Man, super chats keep rolling in.
Appreciate you guys. Well, like I told you, ugly losses. The people, they put their money where their anger is.
Yeah,
we appreciate you guys either way.
$4.99. Needed to get Ohtani to the plate in the ninth. Very non-competitive at bats at such crucial spots. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with having the bottom of the lineup,
It was such a bad bottom of the lineup when I was looking at that, the 1 through 9 Dave had to put out there. We knew Will wasn't going to be in this game, but oof.
But then they're the ones who put up the rally to score the first couple runs, So it's you never can tell with baseball.
Yeah.
So
can we be done with the Buddy Kennedy thing, by the way? I understand he's a part-timer, but
I'm surprised they haven't found anything yet. I can't believe that was their Band-Aid. They couldn't find literally anything.
I suspect we've seen the last Buddy Kennedy start. I think he's played enough now to demonstrate that he is not going to hit the ball ever. And so let's stop giving him that opportunity to try to. That's my guess. Dr. V, and maybe this one, you had Dave Roberts on Dodgers territory today, Clint. Dr. V, $5 super chat, says, why doesn't anyone just straight up ask these questions about Teo's lagging A and PG interviews, post-game interviews? Not all on Teo or Conforto, but they both cost us all year. You did ask Dave a little bit today about Teo. Problem is, Dodgers are coming off a sweep of the Padres, and so it was all happy feelings today. And so, I don't know.
I mean, I did my best to kind of broach the Teoscar and the Teoscar I could have done better. That one I kind of wasn't ready, even though I'm the one running the damn show. But I was doing a lot of bad cop and our good cop, bad cop, and I didn't want to keep making Dave feel like, hey, I don't want to go talk to these people ever again. And I also didn't want to kind of allude to the fact that, hey, we know he was kind of, per sources through you, that he was benched last week because of hustle and because of concerns about his play. So I kind of made that one a little more generic. And Conforto, I had a much, I would say, like, harsher version of my question initially, which was, hey, when do you give up on trying to get rewarded, or so many words like that. But I like Dave. I wasn't going to be a dick all the way. But it is kind of difficult to ask those kind of questions, Jeff. Having covered this team, we've both, all three of us have covered it in some way, shape, or form, written word for money. And when you talk to these players, you talk to the managers, there is a sort of relationship. And if you mess that up, the people running the team, PR people, you lose that access. So you have to kind of tread cautiously to a degree, but at the same time, feels like you could ask Teoscar Hernandez, bro, what's going on? Are you not reading the defense cards, the defensive alignment cards? Are you just kind of, as Jeff, you and I talked about, is he kind of out there Puiging right now, where we know famously Yasiel Puig did not really care about what the people who make a lot of money tell you where to play, where to stand on the field. He didn't care about those cards so much. I wonder if Teo's kind of slipping into that, or if it is something else, still maybe mental with that injury. I don't know.
I have to assume if Teo was completely disregarding the positioning charts, they wouldn't be standing for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think I think he was probably playing where they wanted him to play. He just, had to put on his shoes and grab his cane and had to try to catch the ball after it was hit. It just took him forever to get there. That ball was in the air for so long, and I think it's just bad range, and it's exacerbated by playing in the biggest outfield in Major League Baseball. But yeah, it's rough.
Yeah,
not to pour salt on this wound, but Michael Duarte just tweeted out that the catch probability, according to StatCast, on that ball was 99.4%.
That sounds right. Yeah.
That's brutal.
But the good news is that might be what it takes. Like, because you can brush over a 75%er. You can say, okay, well, 25% of the time that's not caught. 99.4%. Well, I wonder though, that's weird to me that he's saying 99.4, because I worry that Michael Duarte thinks that catch probability is just the inverse of expected batting average, because that is the exact opposite of the 060 expected batting average. But if that's correct, because I haven't seen catch probability have percentage points like that. I've only seen 99%. But if that is right, if it really was a 99% chance to be caught, it's hard to gloss over that from a team standpoint and say, oh, get them next time. Because no, if you can't catch the ball that's caught 99% of the time, you're not going to get them next time.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we had an open DH spot.
Yeah. We could just put Shohei in right field. We got a couple more super chats. Let's get to them real quick. Che, $1.99. Allow a lousy team to play close, expect a loss. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes. You need to put the Rockies away, because the Rockies are a team that is supposed to lose. And then Richie, another one, $4.99 super chat from Richard Flores. I keep hearing wait till the All-Star break, wait till the deadline. Now I'm hearing soon we need to make hard decisions. When? In November? It is August 18th. I don't think November qualifies as soon. I think these hard decisions will be made before the postseason. But if Ryan Ward is going to be a possible option, then it probably needs to be really soon.
Yeah, we need to start seeing what he can do.
It's just hard that we're here. The issue in tonight's game, yes, Michael Conforto striking out twice with runners in scoring position was rough. The issue was Teoscar Hernandez, and yet Michael Conforto is going to bear the brunt. But again, like Dave said to you on the show today, Clint, Conforto has kind of put himself in that position by not performing all year. Dave was nicer about it than that, but Conforto is where he is because he has sucked most of the year. And so if he does end up losing his job because Teo can't play right field, you know what? You should have played better, because then it would be Teo losing his job for not being able to play right field. But, right now, Teo is still a better hitter than Conforto. And so if they have to make a move in the outfield to cover up Teo's inability to play defense, it's going to be Conforto who bears the brunt. And I think we're probably all about ready for that.
Where I feel good, and I'm assuming Kevin, who is a big-time Tommy Edman booster, will also feel good. Where I feel good about this team when we do finally get to the postseason, and I had somebody ask me on Twitter, it's like, or say, if they even make the postseason, they're going to make the postseason. That's not an issue. But you have, we kind of already said it, you have Kike Hernandez coming back at some point, and you also have Tommy Edman coming back at some point. Where I do have concern about Edman, though, is that ankle, and obviously they tried to avoid playing him in the outfield as much as they could because of whatever is going on in there. Like if they go into the postseason with Tommy Edman being their starting like everyday center fielder and he gets hurt, it feels to me like it's a little bit of F in the A situation if we have to revert back to this crappy defense that we're seeing, or this alignment somewhere in the middle of a series. But knowing that those guys are coming back, it makes me feel a little bit better. But then we get back into the whole thing that Richie's talking about. It's the if this, if that. And I understand people's concern about living that way.
Especially because there's... Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, no, I was just going to say, those are not really ifs. Like, those are known quantities. Yeah, like, outside of, Kike can play outfield. We know he can do that. Yeah. We know what those guys can do. The problem is right now is we also know what Michael Conforto is doing and can do at this point in the year, and yet he's still getting playing time. And I think you just have to, wait a little bit until one of those guys comes back, because until that happens, like, there isn't really another option.
Yeah. I was going to say the other, I kind of feel like the opposite of the if. I think Kike is a big if, because problem is Kike Hernandez this year has a 626 OPS. Guess what? Mm-hmm. That's 3 points lower than Michael Conforto's. Well, probably about the same, because Conforto, this was coming into tonight. I mean, Kike this year has been as bad at hitting as Michael Conforto. And yes, we know he can play better defense, but I don't have as much faith as most Dodger fans that, it's October, Kike will turn into Superman. Because I do believe
he needs to, though.
I believe Kike will play better in October than he did in the regular season. But last year, Kike had a 759 OPS and then played better in October.
I have him at a 654 OPS.
Yeah, 654. That's what I got.
I'm sorry. I was looking at Conforto's. But yeah, so but he was better last year in the regular season, and then he played better than that. But if he's starting from a lower point, is he going to be, I just don't know that he's going to just turn into postseason Kike just because his name's Kike Hernandez. He's a year older and worse this year.
We're talking about that bipolar med earlier from the super chat. Well, he has the ADHD fix right there. That's his meds, is getting that clarity, that focus, as he said, when he gets into the postseason. And let's not forget, Kike Hernandez was worse for, I think, 3 months of the season last year before he found the glasses and turned it on. He actually, to keep, tooting my own horn or I guess smoking my own supply here or whatever, when we had him on Dodgers territory earlier this year, and I asked him, like, kind of that turnaround in the season, he's like, he needed that because he was, in his words, pretty close to actually getting released by the team. That's how bad he was. So to have the 195, OPS at 626 this year, I either way, I have enough faith. What is it? Somebody said in the chat that Jeff doesn't believe in the clutch gene. Mike Carrillo saying Jeff doesn't believe in the clutch gene or whatever. It doesn't believe in clutch. I have that feeling because at this point, I kind of have no other choice because there aren't better outfielders or outfield options coming to save this team. But
To
tried and
kind of
true, Kike in the in the postseason works.
and to just put one last little point on that, Jeff, at this point last year on August 18th, Kike had a 602 OPS. Like, he was dramatically worse last year at this point in the season. And then I think he got the glasses sometime around here and then started doing better.
But then the flip side of that is he had a 773 from mid-July to the end of the season last year. Kike had a 773 OPS. And then
he's still got time, baby. He's still got time to come back and play.
And then in the postseason, he had a, wait for it, 808 OPS. So he was a little bit better in the postseason than he had been after he got the glasses. Like, we're talking about a 25-point OPS boost, which is something, but it's not like he was just suddenly postseason Kike putting up David Ortiz numbers. He was a little bit better.
It's about the big moments, though. Like, if he comes up with runners in scoring position, usually he cashes those in, or at least it felt that way, or he makes,
Yeah, and my concern is, you talk about the ADHD super focus power. My concern is I don't have any idea how much of Kike being terrible this year has to do with a lack of focus and how much has to do with him being bad, worse at baseball than he used to be. That's my concern. And so getting better,
which is a very fair concern.
I'm not totally convinced. I'm not convinced enough to bet the season on it that Kike is going to come in and fix everything,
Yeah. We got 1,000 yen super chat from David. If you saw that, Dodgers put out the B team, their B lineup, to get an easy win against the lowly Rockies. A decent gamble to rest some guys in arms, but it was a blown chance to pull away from the Padres before this coming weekend. Appreciate the super chat from David. And I agree and disagree. I mean, we knew, again, like I said earlier, we knew Will wasn't going to be in this lineup after playing 3 in a row. The fact that Muncy is out is a massive blow to this team, and kind of these are the dudes that they have. Like Buddy Kennedy being in there, that's the problem. I would rather have seen Freeland even against the lefty, Freeland v Freeland. But these are the guys they have. It's like, to rest a couple of dudes after a big series, there are no other options.
If we want to pour some salt in the wound, Robbie Ray allowed 1 hit through the first 6 innings to the Padres. Now in the 7th inning so far, he has allowed 3 runs. So it's now 4-3 Giants. Just gave up a 2-run homer to Ryan O'Hearn. So,
I can't wait to hear the discourse on that, because Padres fans were so upset that O'Hearn wasn't starting.
So our friends over at Dodger Blue transcribed Teoscar to the media on that drop fly ball. And the quote is, "We were playing no doubles. It's a big outfield. I was really far and tried to make that play. I didn't. It came off my glove, unfortunately. Things happen. Just got to wash it and keep moving forward." Not a whole lot of accountability on that quote. Not that you'd expect too much there, but
I will say, watching it over, like, when the ball is in the air, as the camera person's tracking it, he's not even in frame. Like, I think he was playing pretty tight to the line and pretty deep. And so I wouldn't be shocked if he was. Yeah, seriously. That's kind of what it was. And it is a big outfield. That being said, I'm Teoscar deserves a good amount of credit or discredit, however you want to put it, for that drop ball. I'm almost equally surprised Freeland didn't get there, though. I was a little shocked that he wasn't able to track that one down. And I don't know if that's because he pulled up to, because Teoscar was coming in and didn't want to cause a collision. But yeah, I was a little surprised at that.
It would have been a miraculous play for Freeland going back. And we've seen him make nice plays doing that. But and that's why I really am interested to eventually see the catch probability on that, because that does factor in the starting position where you were playing. Because the fact is, no doubles defense turned that into a double if that's the case. So.
Yeah, and for Freeland's sake on this, he is very, very new to playing second base, especially at the big league level. So I definitely cut him a lot of slack. We do have a super chat, but I do have one more. So Teo was also asked about the play in the 3rd inning that we were talking about earlier. And once again, zero accountability. It's one of those, just a quote, it's one of those that you'd have to make a spectacular play. I didn't, and I don't think I would have dived. I would have, or if I would have dived, I would have made it. I think that it was a clear hit. Accountability, bros.
Yeah, and where Teo's coming from is, I mean, the unspoken part is with me in right field, that's not going to be caught.
Yeah, I like that kind of. That's some Jeff Wash right there.
You might as well just say, "Look who you're talking to, guys."
Yeah, you expect me to go out there and make plays?
I hit balls. I don't catch them.
Francisco Diaz, by the way, hit us with a $4.99 super chat saying that he called the jinx when Jeff, you mentioned that 4-0 Giants lead. So what's going on here, man? Do better.
In addition to the clutch gene, I also don't believe that jinxes exist. I think the scientific evidence for both is pretty strong, but the jinx is even stronger. The fact that
I liked you there in that
is
spot.
even stronger. Yeah.
I like to compete.
And the Giants could still win this game. I hope I didn't jinx it by saying that, but
Come on, guy.
This was like, we're watching this game. We're thinking about what we're going to talk about on this episode and everything. And, Yamamoto should have gotten more attention. And this isn't the first time that we've, had to talk about a game that Yamamoto pitched and had the idea that, this conversation should have been about how good Yamamoto was. And instead, it's about the offense letting him down or the defense letting him down or whatever. I mean, Yamamoto got through 7 innings, pitched great, really just made the one bad pitch to Tovar. Everything else was like, even if you do accept the idea that Teo shouldn't have made the play on the earlier play, he still shouldn't have thrown to third base and let the hitter get to second base on that. I don't know if anybody asked him about that. But none of the balls hit in that inning were hit hard. It was just, I mean, Yamamoto pitched 7 innings and made one bad pitch. It was a great game, and that should have been the story. And so that's frustrating from a content standpoint. I'd much rather be talking about a win, even if the super chats wouldn't be rolling in the same way if people were happy. It's frustrating.
It is. It is definitely frustrating. Kevin, you got any thoughts? Any more thoughts?
No, I just think it's really funny that looking at the lineup that came out today, and I was like, man, this is something that I would have expected in June, but here we are. And you know what? Silver lining, Alex Call got a hit, so that's cool. Maybe he can do that a couple more times.
Yeah, I mean, the whole bottom of the lineup did okay. Yeah. Rushing almost hit a 3-run homer. Instead, it was a sac fly. Productive out.
It was a home run in 18 parks, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, and was a home run in Coors Field if the wind wasn't blowing in too. Like it was, it was some bad luck. Still, got the run in. The bottom of the lineup did as well as you could hope that they were going to. The problem is they just didn't clump these hits together like they needed to. Another super chat. Get to say the name Terry Hesticles, so that's fun. Teo in right field during the postseason scares me.
Yeah.
And for me, it's the idea of Teo and Conforto both in the outfield. It's just too much bad defense, especially when your center fielder's Andy Pages, who has turned himself into a solid center fielder, but not a Gold Glover. You don't have Pete Kevin Kiermaier out there making up for the deficiencies of the guys on the corners. I just don't see how you can afford to play 2 bad defenders in the outfield, and that's why I feel like they're going to have to do something, for everything that Dave Roberts said today to you, Clint, about, Micah Conforto's going to have to earn his chance to be there. It's like, I think if he was going to earn it, it would have happened by now. And the best defensive alignment for this team is, and maybe they are just waiting till Edman's ready to come back, so Edman can be their center fielder. That's probably why this conversation is still happening. But I really do at this point like the idea of at least give Ryan Ward a try. Keep Pages in center field, and you're not going to maybe help the defense a ton. Ryan Ward has played decent defense in the outfield this year. I don't know if he's going to be better defensively than Conforto, but it's hard to picture him being worse in right field than Teo has been, and move Teo back to left field where we can hide that a little bit. And at least maybe you're getting some offense from that lineup slot, which we're not from Conforto, except in very rare, when the sun hits the moon exactly right, Conforto has a good game. I mean, if Ryan Ward's not getting a chance now, he's going to be out of the organization after this year. So, might as well. And maybe that's why they don't want to put him on the 40-man roster, because then they have to make decisions, because then he doesn't just hit minor league free agency after this year and leave the organization on his own. They'll have to like
Make an
non-tender
actual
him
move.
or release him or something, or trade him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Daniel Arcos was asking what we're addressing here. Like, do they have anybody in the minors that they can call up and play the outfield? Yeah, it's him. It's really just Ryan Ward. We saw Estuary Ruiz, who is the only other like option on the 40-man roster. He's not a big leaguer. Diane asking, they don't have anybody better to put out there tonight. I think that's just a general bottom of the lineup statement. And no, this is what they have right now. These are the same way last year. You know, we had to suffer through Kevin Biggio's and Nick Ahmed's or whatever. We have to suffer through Buddy Kennedy era and you know, I guess Michael Conforto for a majority of the season.
Yeah, we got another super chat, another 1,000 yen from David W, which Google tells me is $6.76 in US dollars. He says trade deadline was the time for Friedman to take the L on Conforto and Scott for this season. 2026 TBD. Should have picked up a decent low-cost bat and arm. Andrew Friedman, AF is stubborn AF, question mark, question mark. I definitely agree on Conforto. I don't agree on Scott. I don't think that, like, yeah, we all agree that we wish the Dodgers had gotten at least one more relief pitcher at the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. I don't think that has anything to do with Scott. I think Tanner Scott is still going to contribute to this bullpen this year. But in general, I agree with David's point that, you know, there's stuff that hasn't happened. And right now there is a lot of, well, we hope that this works out and we hope that this works out. And we're assuming that we're going to dump Conforto once this happens, but you know, and maybe it'll all work out. And Andrew Friedman can laugh at all of us at the end of October when the Dodgers hold up the piece of metal. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. It's funny. Nicole Taylor said much earlier in the chat something to the effect of like, maybe they didn't. Maybe Friedman is holding on to it out of pride and be like, no, he's going to figure it out. Like, I'm Andrew Friedman. I can do no wrong. And I just love that idea. The fact was there wasn't really just outfielders that were necessarily available, as we've talked about ad nauseum, you know, in the couple of weeks since the trade deadline. Stephen Kwan was out there, but they weren't willing to give up the farm kind of literally to get him. So they think they have enough, and maybe they do, maybe they don't, but this team really needs a little bit more help with Kike and Edmund coming back. And that's our next series of ifs, guys. It's waiting for more dudes to come back and hopefully be healthy and contribute. Another guy, Max Muncy, whenever he can come back, that would be just a massive breath of fresh air.
So you're saying your hot take for tonight is that Max Muncy is better than Buddy Kennedy?
Breaking news. Yeah. This one, like make one of those infographics that like John Boy and ESPN do. This guy is the guy who's very good at baseball is much better than the guy who was hitting 083 when he signed with the team. Breaking. I have a button for that somewhere, but I'm not running the board.
Yeah, that's all right. It's still 4-3 in the top of the 8th inning. The Giants have a runner on base with 2 outs. Patrick Bailey's up with a full count currently, at least according to my Gamecast here on MLB.com. And Patrick Bailey just struck out looking. So now we are going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Giants still have a 1-run lead, so you know we'll see how that goes. I do want to check in on a couple other things on the FanDuel, our sponsor, FanDuel. We know Dodgers were heavy favorites in today's game against the Rockies. That didn't work out well. Right now, live odds on that Giants-Padres game, the Giants are minus 265. The Padres are plus 200. So obviously fans think that the Giants will hold on to this lead. The bettors think that. But for tomorrow's Dodgers-Rockies game, basically the same line as yesterday. The Dodgers are minus 270 to win. The Rockies are plus 220 to win. And, you know, we'll see if that can happen. We've got Emmett Sheehan against Austin Gomber.
Gomber, what, in his like 8.5 ERA or something?
Yeah, you know, another lefty. So we'll see. Tomorrow will tell us. I don't think Buddy Kennedy is in there again. I think we'll see Alex Freeland back at third base and Miguel Rojas at second base. The question is, do we see Michael Conforto back in the lineup? Do we see Alex Call? Do we see, you know, You can't bench Teo against a lefty, I wouldn't think. Dave Roberts had an interesting quote. He was asked about Teoscar Hernandez tonight. Somebody in the super chat said, "Why don't people ask Dave Roberts about this?" Well, somebody did, and Dave said about Teo, he's got to get better out there. There's just no way to put it. I know there's effort. It's not a lack of effort, but the thing is, we've just got to get better. We do.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
a scary answer because if it's not lack of effort, it means he sucks. You know?
Yeah.
Like
and
he's
I know
trying his best doesn't make me feel better.
Bless his heart. Bless his heart.
You can fix effort. You can't fix range. You can't fix reading a fly ball.
You can't fix stupid.
That's another thing you can't fix. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. Are we just quoting movies now? I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it.
It's Ron White. It's not a movie.
Oh, that's right.
Laura said a little bit ago in the chat, Laura saying tonight is the night the Dodger fan base turned on Teo, and I think people are concerned. I think people are annoyed. But I was thinking that earlier when we were talking about that. I think it was something Kevin said. Like when we do get to that point in the postseason, or maybe it was somebody else's super chat, and Teoscar blows costs this team a game. I would hate to see the kind of the what am I looking for? The ozone change around Teoscar Hernandez and his love affair with the Dodgers and this Dodgers fan base, because 2024, like, just start to bottom, like, which is how you say that, was perfect. It was phenomenal.
That was good
You
English.
love the dude. I do good words. I use all of the best words. And the way things are trending this season, and seeing a few people in the chat saying, "Hey, can we get out from under this contract? So have 2 more years." That's what makes me a little frightened when you're talking about bringing some dudes back who have, some question marks, but you love them. This is why, like, I was going to make a unnecessary Brent Honeywell reference, but I don't want to offend Kevin with slander. That's this guy.
He's a fine baseball. He just has to produce. He has to be the guy that we know he can be, and I believe he will.
We're talking about Teo, not Honeywell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He's the guy we thought he could be. He was pretty bad at it. He just went out there and, was bad for longer than another pitcher, so they could use gooder pitchers.
I always think about last year. I was on talking to our buddy Doug over on his channel, and he asked me for my hottest take. And I don't believe in hot takes. I am pretty firmly committed to the idea of only saying things I actually believe, which is probably why I don't have a bigger following. Because I can't be like Bill Plaschke and just say whatever extreme thing is going to get clicks today or whatever. I try to only say things I believe or make sure people know I'm joking, And so it was hard for me to come up with a hot take. So the hottest I could come up with was, I'm concerned about the Dodgers signing Teo to an extension because he swings and misses too much and the defense is already bad. And I don't think either of those things are going to get better as he ages. And the people did not like that. And I'm not taking a victory lap here because I hope that Teoscar, wins the World Series MVP award this year. Because I do love Teoscar as a person. I love a lot of things that he brings to the team. And that's why I didn't even say to Doug, I hope the Dodgers don't resign him. It was, I have concerns about it. That was as hot a take as I could get. But what we're seeing is these concerns. Teo is not getting any younger. He's not getting any faster. He's not getting any better in the outfield. And unfortunately, his offense has regressed quite a bit this year from what it was last year. And that's what we're seeing. And again, the reason Teo is such a focus of this episode is because the Dodgers just lost a game because of Teo's defense. And that hasn't happened a lot. The defense has been terrible this year, but you can't point to many games you can say the Dodgers lost that game because of Teo's defense, either because the offense picked him up or the pitching picked him up or he picked himself up. We've seen some games this year where he was bad on defense and then he went out and hit a home run. And so it didn't matter. But tonight, the Dodgers lost a game to the worst team in baseball because of Teoscar's bad defense.
They almost lost yesterday because of, defense and base running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope he figures it out, gentlemen. I really hope he does. We need him to, because he's around for 2 more years. I don't want people to fall out of love with the dude. We hear there's effort. We hear he's trying. Just gotta move him to a different position.
Yeah, and none of this
stand on that.
is
I'm gonna die on
bashing
that
on Teo as a person or even as a player. This is realistic. The Dodgers are paying him to do some things that he is not doing as well as he should. That's what it boils down to. This is job performance. This is not character judgment or anything. And that's why, like Dave Roberts said, it's not a lack of effort. And I really do wish it was, because if it was lack of effort, you bench him for 3 days, you sit him down, you brainwash him, put him in a sensory deprivation chamber, make him watch videos of Kevin Kiermaier,
What is it, Clockwork Orange?
Peak Mookie Betts or whatever, and just look, this is what it looks like to try hard in the outfield. Problem is, I think he's trying hard. He's just bad. And that is so much harder to figure out a solution to.
We need a montage. That's what we need. He's going to get better with a montage. Even Rocky had a montage. We need a montage.
We need to give him a standing ovation when he's on defense.
On defense. Yeah. Every time he goes out to right field, we believe that you can catch a routine fly ball. Teo, we're in your corner.
That sounds wordy. I think we're probably at a point where we're done for today, guys. Even though Jeff's running the show, but it feels like we're at about that time.
You take over, bro.
Dodgers lost a game they shouldn't have lost. Hopefully the Giants beat the Padres, and this is just a wash of a day.
They got through the bottom of the 8th. Padres only have one more chance to try to win this thing. Still 4-3 Giants. So,
yep. We appreciate a bunch of people in the chat tonight. Appreciate the hell out of you guys for joining us here. If you haven't already, like the episode. Let's try to get this one to, 161 likes. That seems like a good number. And if you have not done so already, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. We are trying to get to 20,000 subscribers, and we're like, 430 away or 470 away, something like that. I haven't looked at the most recent numbers, but you guys can help us do that. Why don't you tell them how to also? Oh, what is this? Oh, John. that sounds like something for a Saturday show.
Ohtani played right field in Japan, so give him a shot there. He can't be worse than Teo. And
I wasn't thinking that earlier.
I don't like the phrase "can't be worse," but I think when we're talking about Teo's defense, it's applicable. And you know what? Let Teo play DH. Maybe only having to swing the bat. They're not going to do it, but it sure would be fun. I think but put Shohei in center. Shohei's got the wheels to play center. Put Pages in right, Shohei in center, Teo in left. Oh no, because then I don't know. Do something. Play gooder.
Please. Give me good players, living players. If you guys want to continue having that conversation or that argument over on our Discord, you can. If you want to join us on Discord, you have to sign up through either Patreon or YouTube members. It's $5 a month over at patreon.com/realfrg, or click the join button here on YouTube. And you get access to our Discord. We have, isn't it next Thursday? We're planning our, what do we call that?
Members only.
Yeah, members only video or whatever on live stream here on YouTube. So that's a thing. We just had a watch party, all that kind of stuff. Check those things out. But I'm done talking now. I wasn't even supposed to be here, and I took over the show. Sorry, boys.
No, I like it when you take over. Look, if you're watching this after the fact, or even if you're watching this live with us, drop some comments in the YouTube comment section, not just the live chat. We love the live chat, but comments live forever, helps other people find the episode after the fact. So be sure to sound off there. Thanks for watching. And as Clint mentioned, join the Discord at patreon.com/realfrg. I think that's about all we have to say. Hopefully Dodgers can come back, win 3 out of 4 in this series. And so, you know what? Let's just say bye.
Bye.